Hi everyone, hope you're all keeping safe and well at home. It's Mark here again from Mead Libraries, just doing another STEAM experiment. So this week we're going to look at some food-based experiments. So what we're going to do, the first one we're going to do today is we're going to make candy. And this one's going to take about a week to do, so I'm going to show you how to do it and then we can leave it and see the progress. The second one I'm going to do is we're going to make plastic milk. Okay, you're going to need help with parents for both of them because they're both involved with hot liquids. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is for the candy, what we need is we need a jam jar, we need some cord or some twine, we need sugar, we need about 2 cupfuls of sugar, and we need about a cup of water. So we just need to make a super saturated solution of sugary solution. That's the idea of it. We need another toothpick, or not toothpick, we need another lollipop stick. You can also use a pencil if needs be, and we need a paper clip. So what we're going to do is we tie the paper clip to one end of the cord, and then we tie the lollipop stick to the other end. And what we want to do is we want to place it down in the jam jar. Now, this is the key thing. We don't want the paper clip to touch the bottom of the jam jar or the sides. So what we do is we can cut it, and then what we do is we can wrap it around a few times, and then we can just check. Yeah, so that's roughly, everyone can see that. So what we have now is we know our length that we need, so we hold that and we put that aside. So the next thing that we do is we need to get our boiling water, and we need to bring it up to the water up to the boil, and we need to add sugar bit by bit to it until it dissolves in the pot. And we need to keep going with it. It will take a while, so you'll have to do it slowly bit by bit. And then once we have the super saturated sugary solution, we're going to pour it in. So I'm going to come back once I have my solution mixed, okay? Okay, so now that my solution is mixed around, I've noticed that as I've added more and more sugar, the water is able to take it, but it takes a lot longer to dissolve. So we just have to keep patience and stuff. It took about 3 or 4 minutes for me to melt all the sugar into the water. So the reason that happens is while the water is hot, it can actually absorb the sugar and actually take it in. But as it's cold and cools down, the sugar starts to crystallize again. So the idea is what we're going to do is we're going to place this in, and the cord and the paper clip are going to act as a seed for the sugar to start crystallizing on the water. So it should grow and create a sugary sweet on it, okay? So the next bit that we need to do now is we need to be very careful, and we need to add the hot mixture solution to our jam jar. So we need Mum and Dad's help with this again. There we go, just near the top, okay? Get rid of that. And now what I'm going to do is, for a little bit of fun, rather than a clear piece of, rather than clear sweets, I'm going to add a little bit of food colouring, just to give it a bit of, and I'm just going to mix it around. Now remember, the jar is going to be very, very hot. Just be careful, okay? And then what we want to do is we want to place our string in the solution, okay? We want to make sure that it's not touching the sides when we're putting it down. Now this is going to take, every day, this is going to get a bit more and more crystallized, okay? So what we're planning on doing is once the mixture cools down, it should start to form crystal. But if we have more patience, we'll get more crystals on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a photograph every couple of days and post it up onto the Facebook and see how it's on Facebook and Twitter and see how it's going on, okay? And then this time next week when we do the next STEAM experiment, I'll actually show you the finished product. The best advice I can give is if you want to put it into a windowsill or somewhere where it's not going to be disturbed by anyone for the week, and if you want to put a little bit of kitchen paper over it so that nobody will actually mess with it. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to look at making some plastic milk. Okay everyone, so we're going to try the second experiment now, which is to make plastic milk. Alright, so we're going to need some adult help with this as well. We're going to need, for this one as well, we're going to need vinegar again, some milk, a cup of milk, we're going to need a strainer, and we're going to need a pot. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to boil some milk up in the pot. Now what we want to do is we want to do it just before it reaches boiling point, okay? So I'm going to go and boil this up, and then I'm going to come back and do the next bit. Okay, so the milk is now just coming up to just before boiling point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off the hob and I'm going to pour it back into a bowl, like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 to 5 teaspoons of vinegar, and then we're going to pour them in to the vinegar. And we're going to have to stir it for about a minute now for it to react with the milk, okay? And it looks absolutely disgusting. It looks like sour milk and stuff like that, okay? So the reason what's happening here is, right, there's a chemical in the substance called casein, and it's in the middle of the milk, and it's kind of like, it's the Latin word for cheese. So it happens when the protein in the milk meets with the acid in the vinegar. It does not mix with the acid, and it forms all the blobs that we have here. So what we're going to do now is, once this happens, we're going to strain it, and we should get some plastic. Alright, so that's coming along quite well. Oh. Right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go over to the sink and strain this. Okay, so we're going to strain this out really quickly now in the strainer, and what we should be left with is a kind of a resiny type substance. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let that cool, and once that's cool we're going to rinse it under a bit of cold water, and then we should be able to mold stuff into different shapes that we want, okay? Okay, so this is cool enough now, so what we're going to do is I'm going to run some cold water over it. I'm going to try and rinse it together so I can make actual so it's nice and cool now. You should be able to stick it together and make some shapes with it. Okay, so you can make whatever shapes you want. It's going to be a little bit wet, so you're going to have to drain it out. There we have, we've got some plastic, and what happens is you can make your different shapes and figurines as it cools and hardens, and then within a couple of days it'll actually harden into whatever shapes you make. So there's a good bit there, you can make more. So this is just one experiment. What you can also try and do is you can also try and see what would happen if you add more vinegar. Will it make more casein? And then you can also see will the same results work with low-fat milk or soya milk and different types of vinegar, or if you've tried with orange juice or other types of acids that we've used in and about all the other experiments and stuff like that. So that's it for me this week. Next week we're going to look at static electricity, and we're going to give you a couple of experiments on how static electricity works. So what you can try those experiments there today, try the different levels of vinegar and stuff like that. But anyway, stay safe and keep washing your hands, and I'll talk to you next week. Okay, bye.